All right, let's dive into something that feels like a genuine leap forward in how we interact with AI. Google's just unveiled a new concept that is not just another chatbot. No, they're calling it a super agent. And honestly, it could completely change how you get things done. So, does this sound familiar to you? You've got a great idea for a project, right? Maybe a new marketing plan. So, you fire up one AI to get an outline, then you jump over to another one to get the tone just right, a third to fact check everything, and, oh yeah, a fourth one for images. Next thing you know, you are completely lost in a sea of browser tabs. Look, these tools are incredibly powerful. We all know that. But the process of using them together, it's just chaotic. You're constantly copying and pasting, switching between all these different websites, trying to stitch together a dozen different outputs into one single piece of work. It's supposed to save us time, but a lot of the time, it just creates a whole new kind of busy work. I mean, until now, a simple creative task felt like this ridiculously complicated workflow. You're getting an outline from one tool, tweaking the tone in another, running a fact check with a third, then you gotta go find images with a fourth tool before finally manually putting it all together. It's messy, it's slow, and let's be honest, it's a total headache. But what if you could do all of that, and probably a whole lot more, all in one place, with one single prompt? Well, that is the promise of Google's new project. And this isn't just another tool. It's designed to be a completely new category of AI. They're calling it a super agent. So, what in the world makes a super agent so different? Well, it goes way beyond just spitting out text or answering your questions. A super agent is built to understand a really complex goal, and then, on its own, figure out and execute all the different steps it needs to take to get that goal done. Think of it this way. A chatbot is like a conversation partner. It gives you information. A super agent, on the other hand, is an active partner that actually gets tasks done for you. It's the difference between asking for a recipe and having an assistant who actually goes to the store, buys the ingredients, and cooks the meal for you. And this is where it gets really, really powerful. A super agent can combine all these different skills. It can search the web for the latest info, it can write and run code to analyze data, and it can even build entire little applications from just a simple text prompt you give it. It's like having a researcher, a coder, and a project manager all rolled into one. Okay, let's talk about one of the most game-changing features here, the ability to build these little mini apps. Just imagine having an idea for a simple tool and being able to actually create it in minutes, just by describing what you want it to do. This is a massive shift. In the past, if you wanted to turn an idea into a real tool, you needed technical skills. You needed to know how to code. With a super agent, the most important skill is just clarity. If you can clearly describe your goal in plain English, you can build something. And it's not like you just get one shot at this and hope for the best. No, it's a simple, really powerful feedback loop. You describe your idea, and the agent builds the first version. You test it out. Then you just talk to it. You give it feedback. Hey, make this button blue, or add a field for email addresses, or change the writing style to be more casual. And it just keeps iterating until it's exactly what you want. So, this naturally brings up the big question, right? What does this mean for our jobs? The whole idea behind these super agents isn't actually about replacing people. It's about augmenting our abilities and completely changing how we approach our work. This analogy just nails it. Everyone remembers Michael Jordan's incredible talent, but he didn't win 6 championships by himself. He had a whole system around him: coaches, teammates, handling defense, setting up plays. That system freed him up to focus on what he did best: scoring points. That is exactly what a super agent is designed to be. It's the system around you. It's built to handle all that repetitive, time-consuming grunt work, the research, the data entry, the formatting, so that you can focus on the high-level, strategic work that, frankly, only a human can do. You know, think about what the calculator did for accountants. It didn't put them out of a job, did it? Of course not. Instead, it automated all the tedious manual math. And that allowed accountants to work faster and focus on much more important things like financial strategy. A super agent is like that calculator, but for all kinds of complex work. It just empowers you to operate at a higher level. So let's just zoom out for a second and look at the big picture here. The rise of super agents points to a really fundamental shift in our relationship with AI. We're moving away from conversation and toward action. For the last couple of years, this has been pretty much how most of us have used AI, right? We treat it like a superpowered search engine or a really clever writing assistant. We ask it for stuff and it gives us text back. But this new way of thinking, it's completely different. Super agents aren't just for writing about the work, they are for doing the work. They don't just give you a plan, they can actually execute that plan. And that is the leap. So if there's one thing you should really take away from all this, it's this. We are at the very beginning of a huge transition. We're moving from using AI as sort of a passive information tool to collaborating with it as an active, capable team member that can handle real-world work. And that leaves us with a really fascinating question to think about. If you had a tool that could automate any repetitive task you have or build any simple app you could describe, what would you build first? What part of your job or even your life would you want to transform? Because that's the potential we're standing on the edge of unlocking right now.